Welcome to the Real Estate Scripts Podcast, the show that helps you know what to say when you're talking to buyers and sellers so that you can close more deals and earn more money. I'm Darren Tunstall, a real estate professional, coach, and #1 best-selling author. Let's get into this. Before we begin today's episode, I want to clarify some important points. I am a licensed real estate agent and my DRE number is 018534445. It's crucial to note that this podcast operates independently of my affiliation with Keller Williams Realty and any realtor associations. My primary goal with this podcast is to provide you, our listeners, with valuable information, insights, and practical tools. As a reminder, the purpose of Scripts and Dialogues is to come, learn, practice, and be prepared to fail forward. This is where we make mistakes and help each other out, but we're mostly interested in seeing how we can get better. First, we read through the script word for word, and then we go back and put it into our own natural tone, style, and phrasing. You won't know what to say until you go through the script. So, with that said, many people will say, that's not how I sound, and I totally get it. That's not how you sound. But that is the reason why we practice every day, so that the script becomes you and in your own voice. So, read it word for word first, then go back and put it into your own natural tone, style, and phrasing, and I think it'll work out. All right, so today's script is called Working with First-Time Homebuyers, and this is about ongoing service to a buyer, and we're talking about working with first-time homebuyers. And I'll go ahead and set this up. In this scenario, you guide the first-time home buyers through the process of buying the first home. It involves a need analysis, property selection, and a transparent decision-making in offers and the purchase agreement process. The requirements are clear communication skills, strong analytical abilities, effective negotiation skills, and familiarity with the legal procedure. The intention of the script is to set clear expectations for first-time home buyers. And that is what we've got going on today. So I will create a couple of breakout rooms for now. And let's just start. So who wants to be the agent first?
I'll do.
Okay.
Go ahead, Emily.
No, go
You
ahead.
sure?
You sure?
We'll flip a
Okay,
coin.
let's fight. No. Okay, I'll
All
go first. Stephanie, I'm excited to help you navigate the journey of buying your first home. Before we dive into this, let's talk about some expectations.
Okay, sounds great.
Okay, well, first things first, I'll need you to sign the buyer's representation agreement. Kind of helps establish our working relationship and ensures that I can best represent your interests throughout the process.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay, perfect. Thank you for doing that. Now, it's essential to understand your first home might not be your dream home. It often serves as a stepping stone to your ideal property down the road. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, good. To make this process more efficient, I'll conduct a needs analysis. So we'll discuss your must-haves, nice-to-haves, helping us identify homes that align with your preferences. How does that sound?
Sounds good.
Okay, great. I respect your time, and after each showing, I'll ask if you want to make an offer. If you're ready, we can move forward with a residential purchase agreement. If not, no pressure, and we'll continue the search.
Okay.
Great to hear. Communication is key. If you have any questions or concerns along the way, feel free to let me know. Are you comfortable with this approach?
Yeah, that sounds really good.
Okay, good. Fantastic. Let's get started with finding the perfect home for you. If you're ready, we can go ahead and sign that buyer's representation agreement.
Do you happen to have a pen?
I do, right here.
Woo. All right. Good
There
job.
you go. Very short, just managing the expectations, right up front.
It's a great script. I really like this.
Awesome. All right, Stephanie, let's have you talk to Frida, because Frida logged in a little bit later. So you talk to Frida. Frida, you'll be the new buyer, and then Frida will have you talk to Emily after that.
Okay.
So when you're ready, Stephanie.
All right. Frida, I'm so excited to help you navigate the journey of buying your first home. Before we dive in, let's talk about some expectations.
Okay.
First things first, I'll need you to sign a buyer's representation agreement. It helps establish our working relationship and ensures that I can best represent your interests throughout the process.
Okay.
Okay, awesome. Perfect. Thank you. Now it's essential to understand that your first home might not be your dream home. It often serves as a stepping stone to your ideal property down the road. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
Awesome. And to make this process efficient, I'll conduct a needs analysis and we'll discuss your must-haves, nice-to-haves. I'm sorry, not must-haves and nice-to-haves, helping us identify homes that align with your preferences. How does that sound?
Okay, that sounds good.
Good, thank you. I respect your time. And after each showing, I'll ask you if you want to make an offer. If you're ready, we can move forward with a residential purchase agreement. If not, there's absolutely no pressure and we can continue the search. Does that sound good?
Yes, absolutely.
Great to hear. Communication is key. So if you have any questions or concerns along the way, feel free to let me know. Are you comfortable with this approach?
Yes, I am.
Fantastic. Let's get started with finding you the perfect home. If you're ready, we can go ahead and sign that buyer's representation agreement.
Yes, let's do that.
Great.
Great job. Awesome. Yeah, the must-have and nice-to-haves, I think we all understand the difference. A little weird to say, but you know, when we go through it one more time, we'll put it in our own tone, style, and phrasing. The other comment that I really want to make a point of is, you know, it might be their dream home. You never know. Some people have bought their first home and they're still in it, right? So you might want to ask here and there. I didn't include it in this particular script. Usually it's a stepping stone. They may not know that or see it right now. But you know, hey, like just out of curiosity, is this going to be your dream home? We might want to ask that too here and there sometimes. But I
Okay.
just want to point that out. But you did a great
But I
job.
think it's a good thing to bring them to reality because some people think they're getting into their dream home and they won't be able to afford what that is after you go through those needs and wants.
Absolutely.
Especially here in San Diego.
Yeah.
Exactly, right? We well, that said, enough said. All right, Frida, are you ready?
Yes, I am.
Okay, you're talking to Emily, and then we'll go one more round because we have time.
Okay. Emily, I'm so excited to help you navigate this journey of buying your first home. So before we dive in, let's talk about some expectations, okay?
Okay, I'm so anxious to get started.
Okay, so first, I'll need you to sign a buyer's representation agreement. And this helps establish our working relationship. And it ensures that I can best represent your interests throughout the process. Okay?
Okay. Yeah, that's fine.
Perfect. So now it's essential to understand that your first home might not be your dream home unless you're rolling in the dough, girl. It often serves as a stepping stone to your ideal home later on in life. Make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So to make this process efficient, I will conduct a needs analysis. We'll discuss your must-haves and your nice-to-haves, helping us identify homes that align with your preferences. How does that sound?
That sounds good.
Okay. So I respect your time. So after each showing, I'll ask you if you want to make an offer on the house. And if you're ready, we can move forward with that residential purchase agreement. And if you're not ready, no pressure, and we'll continue the search. Okay?
Okay. Yeah, that sounds good.
All right. So communication is key though. If you have any questions or concerns along the way, feel free to let me know. Are you comfortable with this approach?
Yeah.
Awesome. Fantastic. So let's get started with finding your perfect home, or you know what I'm saying, the home that's perfect for today. And if you're ready, we can go ahead and sign the buyer representation agreement.
Okay, I'm ready to get started.
All right, here you go.
Yes, you are. You are ready. All right, cool. Very good. Frida, I've always loved the excitement that you bring. Are we getting ready? We're gonna start our first home. Woohoo! You guys ready? And we have to bring that energy because that's what they're doing, right? They're excited,
Mm-hmm.
and we have to be excited for them, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's cool. All right, let's go around and do this again, except this time, let's go ahead and put it into our own tone, style, and phrasing. Let's read through the script, use it as a guide. We've already read through it once. Let's make it our own. How does that sound?
Sounds good.
Good.
Cool. All right, Emily, when you're ready, talking to Stephanie.
So, Stephanie, I'm so excited to help you buy your first home. Are you ready to dive into this?
Yes.
Awesome. First of all, I will need you to sign a buyer's representation agreement to kind of, so there's an understanding of what I do for you and the expectations on your half. Okay?
Sounds good.
Awesome. So it's really important that the home we're looking for today might not be your forever dream home. So you might want to see it as a stepping stone of getting into real estate and getting out of the rental market. It's a great way to get into that dream home in the future. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. So to make this process kind of efficient, I'm going to do a little analysis of what you really need and what are things that you just want to have that aren't, deal breakers. How does that sound?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay, good. And I respect your time. So after each showing, I'll kind of talk to you and see if it's something you want to move forward to and make an offer on. If not, that's totally okay. We'll continue the search. And does that make sense? Does that sound good to you, or
Yeah, that sounds
are
good.
you comfortable with that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, and really important, communication is key. So be open, upfront, honest with me about things that you like and don't like. I'm here for you. So this is all about you and what you want. So whenever you need to get a hold of me, I will respond as soon as possible and we'll clear up anything that, you might have concerns about. Okay.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Awesome. So let's get started. First of all, I need this agreement signed so I can get that turned in to my broker.
Okay, great.
All right.
Thank you.
Thanks, Stephanie. And then we'll get started tomorrow. I'll send you a list of homes.
Awesome. Thanks so much.
Yeah.
Love it. Cool. All right, Stephanie, you ready?
Yeah.
All right.
Frida, I am so excited to help you with the journey of buying your first home. Before we dive in, let's just talk about some expectations. Does that sound good?
Yes.
Awesome.
Okay.
So first things first, I'll need you to sign this buyer's representation agreement. It helps establish our working relationship and ensures that I can best represent your interests throughout the process. Does that sound okay?
Yeah, it does.
Great. Now, it's essential to understand that your first home might not be your dream home. It often serves as a stepping stone to your ideal property down the road. Does that make sense? You might not get exactly what you want in your dream home.
Okay,
Are
yeah,
you
I do
okay with that?
Yeah, but I definitely don't want to dump.
Fair enough.
Okay.
So in order to make this process efficient, I'm going to conduct a needs analysis and we'll discuss your must-haves and the things that you want, but they're not deal breakers. And that'll help us really protect your time and so that we're not seeing every house that's on the market. Does that make sense to you?
Absolutely. Yes, it does.
Great. Because I respect your time. So after each showing, I'm going to ask you if you love the house and want to make an offer. And if you're ready, we can go ahead and move forward and put together a residential purchase agreement. And if not, there's absolutely no pressure. We'll continue the search. I'm not on a time frame of needing to get you into a home that you don't love. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. Thank you.
Awesome. Great. Great. So for me, communication is key. If you have questions, I want to know them. If you have concerns, please voice them to me. Feel free anytime along the path to just let me know how you're feeling, any concerns that are going on. I'm here for you. So I want you to be honest with me about what you like and what you don't like and any concerns that you have, and I'll do the same for you. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
Awesome. Fantastic. So let's get started by finding the perfect home for you. And if you're ready, we can go ahead and sign this buyer's representation agreement, and I can get that to my broker and we can get busy.
All right, let's get busy.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Frida.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Awesome. I love the excitement. Great job, Stephanie.
Thanks.
And everybody is hinting on the same thing. Communication, communication, communication. Communication is clarity, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Awesome. All right, Frida, let's talk to Emily, and then after that, we'll break out. So when you're ready.
Hi, Emily. I'm so excited to help you with buying your first home. So before we get started, let's talk about some expectations, okay?
Yeah, I'm really excited, but I'm so nervous.
Oh, I do understand. This is a huge, huge opportunity for you, and you can be nervous, but I'm going to be with you every step of the way, okay?
Okay.
So first things first, I have this agreement here that we're going to go through, and it just basically have you say that you want me to work with you to help you find a home. And this is something that my broker requires from every realtor, just so we have it on file and there are no misunderstandings, okay?
Okay, I guess so.
Okay, and basically it's just saying, I'm going to work with Frida, and I'm saying I'm going to work with Emily. That's pretty much it, okay?
Okay.
All right, and let's see. So now, I know this is your first home, right? And
Yes.
yeah, and you have a budget right at about 700,000. So we're gonna find you something really nice and beautiful in your 700,000 budget. And if in the future you want to make a $2 million purchase, that's what we're gonna do.
I don't know if that's gonna happen.
Well, you never know, girl.
I know,
The
I
future
guess
could be
so.
beautiful. So we're gonna, just keep our expectations realistic, and we're gonna look within the 700,000 budget, but we'll find you something really nice that you like. Okay. Just don't want you to be thinking, $1 million property when you're gonna have a beautiful 700,000 property. Make sense?
Yes. Yeah, I know. I'm not moving into a mansion or a ranch. I know that.
Yeah. Okay, good. So the first thing I want to do is just ask you some questions so that I understand what your likes are, what your dislikes are, what your must-haves are, and what your okay, I can do with that are. You know what I'm saying? So I just want to get an idea of what you want and who you are when it comes to buying a home.
Got it. Okay.
Okay. So I respect your time. So what I like to do with my clients is after we look at each home, we talk about it. We talk about what you like, what you dislike. And if you like it well enough to put an offer in, we'll write up an offer and we'll submit it to the seller and see if they accept our offer. And if you don't like the home, we'll just say, okay, not for us, cross it off, and then we'll go on and look at the next house on the list. Sound good?
That sounds great.
Awesome. So the other thing is I'm a communicator and I just like open communications. If there's something you don't like, something you want differently, please don't hesitate to tell me. My feelings won't be hurt because my goal is to keep you happy and to please you as a client so that we can get you what you want, not what I want you to have. So open communication between both of us is very important. And I'm going to be honest with you. So please be honest with me, okay?
Okay, sounds good.
All right. So at this point, I'm going to give you this document here, which is the buyer's representation, and you're basically going to say, okay, Frida, I'm going to work with you and only you at this point in time, to help me find my dream home at this point in my life. Okay?
Sounds good.
All right. So here's the document. And after you sign it, we're going to pull up some homes and see what we can show you.
There we
Sounds good. Thanks, Rita.
You're welcome.
Almost got it in, Debbie. 2 minutes.
I know I didn't sign though.
I know you didn't sign yet, Debbie.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Debbie,
Oh, I wish I was in that one. I haven't worked with you that, Derek. Next time I want to work with Derek.
You know, on that note, it's interesting because when we're setting goals, we have to include conversions, right? So not everybody that we talk to is going to be willing to meet with us, and not everybody that we meet with is going to be willing to work with us, and not everybody that we work with is going to buy or sell, right? So conversions matter when you're setting your goals. That's just a little side note. Goal planning becomes super important, and we have to build in a little bit of failure into the recipe of success. That way, when it happens, we're not completely broken and and get down on ourselves. No, we include it. We include a little bit of that, and that failure is called conversions. Besides, we're all failing forward anyway, so that's what it is. I have questions. All right. So the question that I want to start with is actually, I'm going to start with a trick question. When you have a buyer and they are pre-approved for a $700,000 loan, do we show them $1 million property?
No.
No.
Now,
Well, if they have the difference, yes.
Oh, okay. I see.
trick question.
If they're toting around, a down payment of 500,000, yeah, I would.
Okay.
If they only have the 700 to work with, I would go to 650 to give them a cushion. But if they have a lot of money in savings and they want to spend it, I'd go
Question. How do we find that information out?
I was going to say, well,
Ask.
you know that.
ask them.
The lender too.
So couple of ways. One, ask them, but it's not good enough for us just to ask, right? Because we don't really know. The person that is going to determine whether they can afford that and what they're going to put down is the lender. So we go back to the lender, and this is the importance of having a lender conversation about that particular buyer. Is what is their financial situation? Sending me the pre-approval. This is why we talk to the lenders and make sure that we are on board with everything. So yes, we can show them $1 million properties. We just have to make sure that the money is there. And the best way to do that is by talking to the lender.
So let me ask a question, because I'm not a lender. If they are pre-approved, if they can afford $1 million property, is the pre-approval going to say $1 million, or it's going to say 700?
My recommendation is whatever the offer is, that's what you have the lender write up the pre-approval for. And the reason why it's a negotiation strategy. The reason why is because if it's $1 million, if it's let's call it a $750,000 property, but they really want to place it at $700,000. Well, I would have the lender write up the offer at $700,000. We go in, and that's what the sellers see. They see a $700,000 for pre-approval. They may accept that. They may say, well, you're going to have to find a way, and you're going to have to figure it out. You're going to have to come in with extra money somehow. So I would say because the lender will write up pre-approvals all day long.
Right.
Mhm.
So just because they are pre-approved for up to $1 million does not mean that they have to write it at that amount. By the way, I'm not a lender. I'm not an attorney, and I'm not a CPA. So my advice is to go back and talk to all those people that you can help out with. The other question is, why get a buyer's agreement?
So that they don't go off and buy with somebody else. So that they really know that you're going to work for them. Yeah, you don't want to spin your wheels and your time and them go with someone else.
That, and it's become mandatory, hasn't it? at least within some
I know
offices.
it is. Yeah.
Within some offices that it is a mandatory thing, especially with all the legal stuff going on in the world right now.
Yeah, it's about commitment, I believe.
Well,
It
I think
is.
it's about clarity and understanding for on the client's behalf. If they're signing that, it's a little more, it's just telling them one more time, this is how it works.
Yeah. And it's setting our expectation. Like, this is what you can
Mhm.
expect from me by signing this document.
Right. And if you also think about a seller, for example, the seller is committing to use a listing agent, right? So in the same token, a buyer is committing to work with you. And sometimes we overcomplicate that conversation. It's just as simple as saying, look, I'm going to work with you. You want to work with me. Let's go ahead and put that in writing.
That's a good way to put it. Yeah, it's the same as the listing agreement. We're just doing it on both sides now.
Exactly.
Perfect.
Last question. What is the difference between must-haves and nice-to-haves, and what is the importance of knowing both?
Well, a must-have is a deal breaker. It's like, I do not want a house if I don't have this. Nice to have is, okay, I would love to have that, but I'd be okay if I don't have it.
Well, and I also think having that conversation, sometimes buyers confuse, well, I really need to have this. When in reality, once they think about it and the cost involved in having a pool or whatever, they're, once you get through it, maybe it'll turn into okay, it's not a deal breaker anymore. If that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I
And
use this concept
Or an
of,
extra bedroom or a 3-car garage instead of a 2-car garage or whatever it is, lot size, whatever.
Well, and in the search too, they can come to understand that what they want isn't what they can afford. So
Right.
Yeah.
that could be the factor also.
We have 2 questions on the table. One was Frida, one was Stephanie. So
go ahead, Stephanie.
Well, I have more of a comment. Like when you are really asking and digging deeper into the questions of why something may be necessary. Maybe someone's moving from Massachusetts and they wanted an extra room because they're a studio artist. But in San Diego, we don't have weather here like they do in Massachusetts. You can have like some sort of outdoor space that's covered where you can make it into a work area. And so really digging deeper to find out those questions of why is this a must-have for you? Is important. And then that becomes less of a must-have and like, oh, I didn't think about that. Yeah, you're right. That's an I want to have, but if we find something with a great outdoor workspace, like that's awesome. You know what I mean?
that's a really good point. Dig deep. I mean, they're telling you, they're opening up to you and understanding some of those reasons why you're going to be a hero when you go out and find that. And then what's going to happen after that when you close on a property? They're going to say, man, go work with Stephanie, go work with Derek, go work with Rita, go work with Emily, go work with Debbie, because they did such an amazing job at finding me exactly what I absolutely needed in a property.
Exactly. So I was going to say, to piggyback off what Stephanie says, is that's what I do with my relationship coaching. I have my must-haves and deal breakers. And the majority of the time, I tell people do not compromise on that because you will not be satisfied long-term in your relationship. But there are times when a person has, or we could say a house has, so many other things that they didn't consider, or so many other qualities that kind of made it look real nice, then this must-have can be negotiated because these other things kind of compensate for what that is. So I was just saying, it's the same analogy that I use in relationship coaching when people are looking for the long-term spouse.
Good point. It applies in all areas. Just want to let everybody know it is 9:01, so if you need to leave, go for it. If you want more discussion, I'm here till 9:15. All right, so that's the script. I hope that you found it useful. Just head over to realestatescriptspractice.com for more resources and downloads. This podcast is for the purpose of education only, and it does not make any guarantees. We suggest you seek out the help of your broker, coach, mentor, CPA, or attorney. Brought to you by Darren Tunstall, California DRE number 018534445.